Okay, guys, we're live here with Headbands, Mental Health Edition-ish. We've mixed in a few of them. We're going to throw 60 seconds on the clock. 3, 2, 1, go. What do you put in your lips?
Chapstick.
Nope, in the lips.
Filler.
What is filler? Another word.
Juvederm.
Another word. You put it here.
They do breast implants at these clinics?
Yes. Next. Okay, this is when you feel
anxiety.
when you're away from your person.
Like sometimes it happens to pets, to animals.
Anxious attachment.
No. When you're close and then you're
Codependent.
When someone gets divorced, but it's not quite divorced.
Separated.
put it all together.
Separation attachment.
The other word is depression. Depression and
Separation and anxiety.
yes.
Oh my god.
Next. Okay, you take this for a 12-hour flight.
Oh my god. For a 12-hour flight. What was that?
There was a rapper that was named after this. Little
It's anxiety medication.
Ativan.
Little Ativan.
What?
Okay.
Oh, I'm thinking of that other thing that you for motion sickness.
No, Xanax.
Oh my god.
What-
I don't know rappers.
what should we have said?
Name Little
You know Lil
Ativan.
Xan?
12-hour flight, you take a Xan.
Xan isn't even the word though. If I would have never said Xanax.
Okay, should we do one more round?
I don't know about if she's going to get this one.
Guess you will.
All right.
All right, put 36 seconds on the clock, and we're here with Headbands. 3, 2, 1. Okay, he's been in all of Jake Shane and Alex Earl's TikToks recently. He's a DJ.
DJ Pauly D.
When you go to the top of a mountain, you...
Climb.
Another word for climb.
Matthew, Mark, Luke.
John. Climber.
Okay,
Pass.
Okay, pass.
Who was
pass.
it?
John Summit.
Oh, Summit.
Okay, this is like old day mental health treatment.
Electric shock therapy.
Older. They're gonna,
Frontal lobotomy.
Oh,
yes. Oh. Okay. Oh, we have this often.
Yeah.
We look in the mirror and we go, ooh!
Body dysmorphia.
Yes. Okay, this is not a depressive episode. We're going crazy. Bipolar.
Manic episode.
Yes.
I'm on one right now.
Okay, this is the game where you will watch while you're watching podcasts. You're jumping. It's not Subway Surfer, the other one. It's a game.
Slime.
2012.
2012.
Oh my god, Jungle Run.
Yeah, Temple Run.
Temple Run. All right.
Okay,
Well done.
there you go.
John Climber.
John Climber.
All right, go ahead, Danny. You're next.
Okay.
Oh, did I show you that?
didn't see
Sorry.
All right, can you see it?
No.
Ah, fuck.
Okay, that's mine. Temple Run.
We're gonna have to maybe switch you for here.
Switch.
I don't like being next to you.
Yeah. Because I feel like I never look at Danny, and I
Yeah.
feel like he's like, you're always looking at me for like
Okay.
word. And I'm
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
It's good to be on the same couch as
like,
you.
hello. Hello. Oh god, I almost broke this mic.
Hello.
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 All right.
All right.
Let's go, little baby.
Okay.
Let's go, doe-eyed boy.
Doe-eyed boy.
Oh, fuck. All right, ready? Let's do it. In 3, 2, 1.
What have I been
Headband.
saying all day?
Babe.
Very mindful.
It starts with a D.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
got the.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Harry Potter. They float around.
Demure.
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 Yes.
Okay, close enough.
Good job.
Okay, this is OG trad wife.
OG trad wife. Okay. This is
TikToker. Today we were making lollipops from scratch.
lollipops from scratch.
I don't even know who this is.
It's a fellow Mormon.
Oh, is this the girl we were talking about last time?
No, not ballerina. The other one.
I don't know. I'm probably gonna have to skip
Nar
this one.
Smith. Next.
Yeah, I never would have guessed that.
Okay, this is a famous musician. She just featured in Charlie
and I don't
XCX.
talk shit about you.
Hannah Montana.
Okay,
You didn't get one.
was it the accent that you thought it was Hannah Montana?
Yeah, I don't know.
That was a
You
Billie Eilish
just started
song.
throwing like Charlie. I was thinking like Disney Channel, like you know the Disney Channel. What is it called?
Good luck, Charlie.
Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking like maybe they were like featured together, Hannah Montana. maybe.
Horrible.
I sometimes, Danny, your eyes. I feel like it's all in your eyes.
gloss over.
No.
And I'm just like, where am I?
I told Eyelash. Oh my gosh, I almost just called you Billy Eyelash. I told Elijah, I was
Billy
like,
Eyelash, you can
your
call me that.
eyes
Danny
remind me of
Eyelash.
an infant, like a baby. So every time I talk to you, I think I'm talking like, and I'm not. You know, like Puss in Boots when he's like. That's what your eyes remind me of.
I'll take it.
So it's like a little kitten.
Like that emoji where he's like, his eyes are like watering kind of, and he's kind of just like,
Crying.
No, like I want to swallow you.
oh, okay. You can swaddle me.
Oh. You guys are comfortable on that couch together, I see.
Get back over here.
All right, let's throw 60 seconds on the clock for
All right.
headbands, mental health
This one's
edition.
going to be, I don't know.
Yeah, you're gonna get this.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go ahead.
4241.
5150.
Yes. The other game.
Not Temple Run.
Oh, Subway Surfer.
Yep.
Not in a manic
Spiritual.
episode, but
We were just
Enlightenment?
talking. No. It's like people are seeing things. Meth.
when you're on like a
Induced.
craze and you're like,
Manic?
no.
Close. What's
Skip.
okay? You, Haley Bieber.
Erewhon.
Wow, that was a jump. Okay, this is where horses go when,
K-hole.
yeah.
I thought it was Chloe.
This is not trizepatide,
It's
Ozempic.
Uh-huh.
this is a form of anxiety. It's an
Repetitive behavior.
acronym.
OCD.
yes.
This is not attend and befriend. It's when your amygdala fires.
Yeah.
Fight or
And
flight.
Yes.
This is Elon Musk's newest.
Cybertruck.
Wow, those hints were on point.
Yeah. He's getting it.
Wow, I fucking murdered that.
Yeah, that was really
Ellen
good.
should hire me. Actually, no, Ellen shouldn't hire me. All right, should we do one more round for good
Yeah.
luck? Okay.
Yeah. These are all.
Trisha Paytas should hire you. She seems much nicer.
Okay, Billie Eyelash,
Okay.
Nara Smith, Demure. Okay, I'm taking that.
Okay, cool. All right, and we got 60 seconds on the clock for mental health headbands. 3, 2, 1, go.
In order to qualify for
SSRI,
Spravato, you have to
SNRI.
take 2 of these.
Antidepressants.
Yes. Okay, this is...
You can't focus.
Neurodivergent.
Take Adderall.
ADHD.
Yes. Oh, what type of summer is it?
A brat summer.
Yes.
How is it a brat summer?
It's a brat summer.
Not anxiety, but
Depression.
yes. Okay, you put these in your... Danny used to do it all the time.
Instead
put
of
them in your
vaping.
lips.
Instead of vaping, you put a little pouch in your mouth.
Pouch in your mouth.
It's called a...
Zine.
Close.
Yeah.
Zin.
Yes. Okay, bitch, you ain't the shit.
Fire.
You ain't even the fart.
Ice Spice.
Yes.
Fire salt.
Fire salt.
Subway Surfer.
But
Temple Run.
Yes.
I think this it repeats.
DBT, CBT, EMDR.
Psycho.
Therapy.
Yes.
Nice.
Ooh. You gotta warm up.
That was good.
Yeah, it was good.
Cool. We ran through all of them, yeah?
Don't they do the one where like you can't talk, you have to like act it out?
Yeah.
Is that charades?
That's charades, I think.
And we're gonna do one more warm up. I'm gonna call this a game. Let's start off with they're a 10 butt. So they're a 10 butt mental health edition. So this person walks up to you, stunning, beautiful, just crafted from the gods, but they have a red flag.
Okay.
Would you move forward with them? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. D, all of the above, absolutely. Okay, they're a 10, but they lie to their therapist.
Ooh. Who's their therapist though? Does the therapist like me?
Yeah, the therapist likes you, but they
Okay.
lie to their therapist.
It's a tough one because maybe they just don't want to open up and talk about stuff.
Yeah, maybe they don't like the therapist.
Yeah, they're not
So
connecting.
would you still move forward with them?
As long as they don't lie to me, I don't care if they lie to the therapist.
It's going to be a no for me. If you can't be open with this one person, it's going to be a red flag. Okay, they're a 10, but they talk shit about their friends.
No.
No.
I'm kind of into that.
Yeah.
No, I'm just fucking with you.
No, I mean,
I don't think it would be a deal breaker.
It's like
it depends on
venting.
if they're like talking shit, like fuck Monica, you know, or
Yeah.
like they're like very mean about it, then that's gonna be
So
a no.
like Monica's gained 50 pounds and I can't even be around her. Like absolutely not. But like if they're like, gee, Monica's being a little
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
She's kind
Like,
of a coons.
I'm always down to gossip. So
Yeah.
let's do it together.
There's a fine line.
Right.
Fine
Gossip
line.
and talking shit.
They're 10, but they're always talking about astrology.
Yeah, of course. I feel like most 10s talk about astrology.
I feel like
What 10s have you been around? I don't know. The astrology talk sometimes it's like I was at yoga the other day and they're like, Mercury's in retrograde. And I'm like, you are just continuing to clench onto this idea that Mercury is in retrograde, which it probably is, but how much is it affecting you versus
I mean, I got
bias?
into it for a while, I can say, but like it got to a point where I was like, this is not affecting my everyday.
Yeah.
But it's very interesting how like the zodiac signs and people's
So would you date
personality.
someone who's always talking about astrology? They're 10.
Might as well give them a pass.
Pass.
It's like
No.
a form of spirituality or religion, I feel like.
I don't know.
It's
I
like a
think it's
modern-day religion.
pseudoscience in my opinion, but that's just me. I might be ignorant.
Tarot cards.
Absolutely not.
I love them.
So they're 10, but they gaslight their mother.
Ooh. It's gonna have to be a no from me, dog.
Gaslight their own mom? It's like mommy issues.
Depends on the gaslight, though.
Ooh.
Depends on who their mom is too, you know?
True. Sometimes I've gaslit my mother,
Oh, I do it all the time.
but it's like a reverse Uno card. You know what I mean?
When she's gaslighting you, you gaslight her back.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's a
Nice.
tough one. I don't know. Maybe.
But I don't know. If someone's like smart enough to gaslight their own mother, that means that they're probably going to be like tough one to argue with or like come to a compromise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably have deeper issues too.
They're 10, but they have a victim complex. Ugh. Vote them off the island.
Off the island.
Fucking, their torch is over. No way in hell. That's like my biggest pet peeve is a victim
All the
mentality.
time. Me.
Yeah.
Poor me.
Okay, they're 10, but they mansplain psychedelics to you.
What's mansplain? When like they spread their legs?
Mansplaining?
You know when people mansplain on the bus and they like spread their legs? What is
No, mansplaining is like a form of explaining by a man that's like condescending. Like, let me show you this, little
Like
lady.
So
you
much
are-
more intelligent than you. Understand how the psychedelics work.
Oh, you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just can't
What'd
take
you
it
do?
back.
It is me.
Swaddle.
I think Danny can mansplain psychedelics sometimes.
He can, yeah. I think he just like
Psychedelics is the entrance into manhood. You know, and you're like,
the dogma. He keeps talking about the dogma.
who are these dogs? And let them out of their cage. Okay, they're 10, but they are chronic doom scrollers.
No.
Love it. Let's do it together.
Yeah,
Parallel
that's
play.
hot.
Uh-uh.
That is hot to me.
I love parallel play.
Send me memes in the bed. Don't talk to me.
Yes.
You know,
My boyfriend and I parallel play all the time.
the parallel
He
play.
does, I say, I'm like, we're parallel playing. He's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I love that. No, a good doom scroll with someone. There's nothing better when you're in a relationship with like friendship, any type of relationship, where you guys could just go silent for 20 minutes,
Yes.
just have a scroll, and then pop back into a good combo.
Yeah.
Nothing better. That's a 12 for me. Okay. They're a 10, but they don't know who Chaperone is.
That's my ideal 10.
I would say if you don't know, I mean, what if he's just like offline? You know,
Yeah,
like
it could be fun to discover with them.
yes,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like,
You
bring
don't
them
know who
into the lore.
Like you didn't know who Chaperone was. I introduced
Yeah, you brought me down the lore.
you. Yeah, and look at you now.
I'm obsessed.
Mansplaining, wide open.
Yeah.
Wide open.
She mansplained to you.
Talk on the
chaperone.
couch.
Yeah.
Okay, they're a 10, but they're paranoid in big groups.
Oh, I'm paranoid in big groups, so
Paranoid about what?
shootings,
Oh, damn.
all kinds of stuff.
I mean, I don't know.
It's not a deal breaker for me.
Yeah, I don't think it's a deal breaker.
They're a 10, but they love Zins. I don't know. When
I
someone
don't know
love
if I
the
could date a
vape,
girl
so-
that loves Zins. I feel like a girl that loves vapes, maybe, but like a girl that just loves Zins.
I used to chew.
tobacco, yeah,
Yeah.
that was a big thing.
I mean,
used
it
to
could be
spit tobacco.
hot. I don't know.
We call them the lady dippers.
Yeah,
Hawk 2
that is a true walk too.
on the porch,
Girl that Zins.
spit can.
They're a 10. They only talk about themselves.
Oh God, no.
Drive me off of fucking a cliff.
Yeah.
There's
yeah.
nothing worse than someone who can't toss.
You know,
the fact.
you do. I wanted to tell you this. You do a really good job of like asking questions when someone is talking. I've never had an in-depth conversation with someone besides you two, where you guys are like asking more questions and you guys pull more information.
Yeah.
It's like a really good skill to have that I don't think I've been around people who care that much to know.
Yeah.
So I just want to recognize both on that because
Thank you.
You guys ask like, "How was your weekend?" or like,
You're
Well,
really
yeah.
good at answering too. It's actually interesting to
Yeah,
ask
you
you. I
have
feel
some
like.
fun answers. You make the answers fun. But I think it's really important. That's like my biggest pet peeve, when someone cannot toss
Yeah.
the talking stick.
You guys do a great job, seriously.
Yeah, because whenever I'm one to like talk shit after a group function, and if someone doesn't toss the talking stick, I'm like, fuck that person.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've ingrained it into your head at this point, where you like ask the questions.
Yeah, I'm more aware of it for sure.
Yeah, because
It's a good skill to have.
we all went to dinner this one time, and we were walking away, and it was like us two and another friend, and Danny was like, wow, that was just, like so great. And I was like, that was horrible. I was like, they didn't ask about us once. Like, it was like, all we did is talk about their like makeshift acting career. Like, what the hell? Like,
Danny loved it. He ate it up.
yeah. He
Yeah,
was
I'm
just
curious.
like, oh, this is all right, you know?
I like to just ask questions and learn about people.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it doesn't
I
need to
can
be
see
about
that.
Sometimes it gives like narcissism.
Yeah.
Like there's a fine line between someone just being like, yo, I'm going through this, or like this is what's happening, versus you just walking away being like, I just felt like I was a therapist for an hour.
They just like drained your energy.
yeah, fuck that person.
Yeah. I guess there is a fine line, because there's like some people who you can like, yeah, like new person I'll listen to and talk, or like on dates I would just kind of get like shy, and so I just like let somebody talk, but there become a point where I'd be like,
yeah,
Got
Yeah.
the ick.
pass it back.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, they are a 10, but they have a fake emotional support dog.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
That's
sure.
that's an absolute yes.
That's
if
a
they
green-
could work the system a
green
little
light.
bit,
Yeah.
I'm into it.
I am too.
Yeah,
You know, they're a 10, but they believe in crystals.
they believe in crystals. Do you not believe in crystals? I mean, crystals are real. You mean the healing power of crystals?
Correct. Like, here is,
Amethyst, I'm gonna put it on your knee.
yep, and you're going to be able to have an Iron Man knee tomorrow.
It kind of is in the same vein as the astrology. I'm gonna say yes, because I feel like a lot of 10s are in that same astrology sort of crystal vibe.
Where are
Yeah.
you getting your
Some
10s from?
toxic, yeah. The
We
crystal
live in
girls can
Los
be
Angeles,
toxic.
dude.
You know?
Yeah, the crystals are, I don't know, they're off to me. I think it's really sick that they come from the earth. Like, that is
Yeah.
crazy. But someone to be like, you're giving rose quartz.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa,
Yeah.
you know? I was at the Cheesecake Factory a few years ago, and someone gave me a rose quartz bracelet, because they said that you have a really big heart and you need this. And I was like, it was really nice. I was like, thank you, kind stranger.
Yeah.
Can we get some more bread? But it was kind of a little bit weird, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's just a gesture more than anything. I feel like crystals are just like a way to, like, I got this at a yoga class, this green jade bracelet.
oh, we got a crystal boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jade's nice. Jade is nice. So there was a big thing. Remember back in the day when they were like doing like crystal shovels on like TikTok, and they were like,
yeah.
and all those people like
It was
2
like
years
2020.
ago.
It was like COVID vibes.
Yeah, it was a COVID, like everybody
Yeah,
got
they were
into
hunting
crystals.
for them.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is coming out of a factory in China.
Yes, they were like getting the. We got a scooper. We got
Yeah.
a scoop of crystals.
What do we got? Sifting through.
It's like mining for gold.
Wait, that's what they were doing, right? Like in
Yes.
the river?
TikTok.
Yeah.
No, not in
Not
the river.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like the mining in the river.
No,
No,
they
no,
literally
they were
had like a
acting like
fake
that, but it was a big
sandbox.
fake machine.
Oh.
Yeah,
And they were just like sifting through. It looked like this. It was really
Yeah.
funny.
Oh, that's silly.
It was so silly.
and they'd be like, "You gonna buy rose quartz? Rose quartz? You
Yeah.
gonna buy rose? I probably shouldn't do that. I'm
Okay,
so sorry.
They're 10, but they're an ugly crier.
Yeah, let it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
I just won't look.
I mean, does anyone have like a 10 cry? Have you seen a beautiful cry?
Did you ever see me weep?
Yeah, Lana Del Rey's pretty when she cries.
Shed one single tear?
Yeah, if you just shared one tear, but if you're like, no one like full out bawling is looking hot, you know?
I don't know. You'd be
There's
surprised.
some women that you can pull it off.
Yeah.
They'll be
I mean,
like,
if their head is in their hands, maybe.
That Kim K ugly cry has made her, I'm sure, a few million.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Stickers?
Yeah.
And the Michael Jordan ugly cry? You know
I
what
haven't
I'm saying?
seen that one
The
before.
meme where Michael Jordan's crying?
Oh my
Oh,
God,
yeah,
yes.
yeah,
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 I didn't even
yeah.
know who that was, to be honest with you.
We are on different sides.
And then last one, they're 10, but they are emotionally unaware.
Ooh, that's going to be a
It's
no
going to be a
for
hard
me,
no for
dog.
me. That is going to be a hard no for me.
Emotional intelligence is like the key to communication,
Yeah,
the key to understanding,
totally.
empathy, sympathy.
Mhm.
Just it's a huge part.
It's
It
going to be a
plays
big,
huge
yeah,
part.
that's like a big no-no for me. Like, you have to be emotionally aware.
That's like kind of the breeding ground for a psychotic person, right? It's like they just are,
Like
they
a
don't have any.
sociopath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
5150, those suckers.
Yeah, they don't
I
have-
didn't know what 5150 was until I met you.
What is it?
5250.
So a 5150 is a psychiatric hold in the hospital in the state of California.
I think it's all throughout the U.S. now.
Welfare yeah, I think so.
I don't know.
Welfare and institutions code.
5150, so it's like a 72-hour hold, right? And
Damn.
then a 5250 is a 2-week hold.
Damn.
Why would you call a 5150 on somebody?
They're trying to kill themselves or somebody else.
Seen
They're a
a few
danger
of
to
those.
themselves or other.
What about what constitutes a 5250 versus a 5150?
So that's when. So if somebody gets a 5150, they go to the hospital for the hours, right? And then the psych doctor sees them, and they say they can't leave within those 3 hours. They need a 5250. I'm going to put another hold on them.
Damn.
So it's after they've already been admitted, and then the next level comes up.
Do you
Some
think
people
that
get
anyone
better.
goes straight to 52?
Like, can you go to the final
Probably,
boss?
yeah. I've been in the hospital for. I only got out of it because there's in the state of California in LA County, you have like a hearing if they're going to put a 5250 on you, like from a
Oh, that's
damn.
nice.
like a judge, and I got out of it. I was like, look, I just need rehab. Like I'm not crazy. Like I'm a serious like heroin user, and she was like, let her go. Like she just needs to get into
Let
treatment.
that woman free.
I advocated for myself. Like I really
That's
fought for
good,
myself.
though.
Yeah, and they believed me. The doctor was trying to put me on like an actual like 2-week hold, and it's just because I was homeless. You know, like I needed a bed to sleep in. So I
So
was
you're
like,
like kind of like set me up, right? Or
No. So
No, because it's hard. A 5250, like
it's like
psychiatric
it's on your
hold.
record.
Uh-oh,
It's on your record. I
damn.
can't have a gun in the state
Is
of
it like
California.
criminal offense to get a 5250 almost?
No, but it
You're
makes
so
you you're
dangerous.
crazy. You know,
Yeah.
like they think you're crazy. So I
Damn.
needed a place to sleep, right?
We need to run the story back a little
Okay,
bit because this
so-
whole episode is on depressive episodes and stories.
So yes.
So why don't we dive into your 5250 like powwow out with the
Experience.
judge?
Okay. So this was 2021.
Okay.
A hard time. I had like my ex-boyfriend. We were together for like 3 years, and my grandfather had just passed. I had to fly back home to Indianapolis, and we had just moved from Orange County to San Diego because he wanted to go back and get his PhD. Love this man. I was going to follow him till the end of the earth. And I was struggling with drug use and just relapse and Xanax, and like things were falling apart. And he was like, after my grandfather passed, I tried killing myself. He's like, I can't do this. Like, I had a seizure too coming off the Xanax. He's like, I just can't. Like, emotionally, like, you need help and more help than I can give you. And he was like, we got to go.
Yeah,
And
you're
we were
just in a
getting
tough
evicted.
spot.
And which was sad because like he saw me like break down, right? And he could have, I think he beats himself up that he should have done more, but he didn't know because he was also struggling himself, which we'll get into that later. And so we get evicted, right? And so I pack up all my stuff.
Ooh, okay. Dead dad. I mean, dead grandpa. RIP to that king.
Yeah.
We're on Xanax and we had a small seizure because
Yeah.
we were trying to get off of it. We're going through homelessness.
Tried to kill myself.
And we tried to
And then-
KMS.
Suicide.
So then I go to the hospital for my killing
Jeez.
myself.
51.
No, not yet. They let me go. This was the ketamine experience. So they gave me ketamine in the hospital. I feel better. They let me go.
How was that experience with ketamine?
Great. I literally was like, top of the world, gonna get it together. Like, amazing. Left the hospital.
We are so back.
So back. And when I get there, he's like, we're done.
Oh, damn.
So you
So
hit
I'm
that
like-
ketamine journey and you're riding in on that horse and you're
Walking
like,
home
I'm ready
all the way
to
from
go.
the hospital. Yeah.
So
This is
then he
after the
goes,
attempt, and then he comes to the hospital. He meets you there.
No, I leave
go
the
home.
hospital.
Okay.
I go home, and he's like, we're done. Like, I
Shut the
can't.
fuck up. So
do
you just
this.
get hit by literally 5 of the hardest things
The hardest
in one shot.
3-year
fell swoop.
relationship.
And it's like still COVID-y.
Oh, it is.
We're
still,
still
we're
masked
in
up.
We're in the deep depth neck of COVID, like mask and everything still.
Ugh, nothing worse than crying with a mask on.
Yeah. At least it's not an ugly cry.
And I get out, and he's like, we're also getting evicted now because we've had to call 911 so many times, thanks to your ass. So I'm going back to my dad's, and good luck. And I was like, I'm homeless. So I thankfully, luckily, I was unemployed at this time because we had just moved. I got like a check for like $10K from beep, 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 beep.
It came from above.
Yeah, it came from
It was a
above.
gift
It was
from
a
God.
gift.
It was a gift from God.
Gift from God. It was backdated
Exactly
rents.
where you needed it.
I love when that
Yeah.
happens.
It was just amazing. And I got a U-Haul, packed up my stuff, went back to Orange County, and I stayed in a hotel. And I all through Christmas, like it was the whole month
Solo?
of December by myself.
Ugh,
Damn.
and that's like one of the most like depressive times because it's cold and then you're also like if you're isolated, you're away from your family.
Yeah.
So depression really spikes in
And you're just in
December.
a hotel by yourself.
Using drugs. I don't even. I think the whole time I didn't shower the whole time. I just stayed in bed watching TikTok. And you know how it was. I know that it was bad with this episode is I left Fox News on.
Oh.
Because I just wanted something to be playing in the background, but had no joy, no. It was just sadness, just the most sadness. I mean, just remember like, and this man wouldn't block me because he wanted to make sure I was still safe. He still loved me. I mean, I know we talked since, and I would just text him, you know, like, please, like begging, and you just like, no, I can't. Yeah. And so
you're in the hospital. I mean, you're in the hotel.
I'm in the hotel.
You're in
Watching
the Egyptian sheets.
Yeah, it was not a very good motel either.
Wasn't?
No, it was actually one that I had worked at.
Really?
So I knew the people there, and like I felt like like at least that connection. Like I had just left there from the summer, so I was like, little connection, you know, like something. I guess you go back to where like you at least try to start roots. And I was running out of money. So I'm like, you know what I'm going to do? I didn't want to go back to rehab because who wants to go to rehab? I was like, I'm going to say I'm suicidal. I'm going to go to a hospital. They're going to keep me overnight, and maybe they'll get me into a housing program. Orange County doesn't really have that stuff. So they send me to Hoag Hospital. I'm there all nights.
So your plan is almost like, let me leverage the 5150 to get myself into like a
shelter.
A safe bed.
Yeah, safe bed,
food,
housing
water.
program, something.
Strategic 5150.
Absolutely.
Playing your cards.
And then they're like, we're sending you to Long Beach.
Okay, so if
then you're
people
like, oh,
who
God,
don't
no.
have context of Long Beach, what is Long Beach?
Long Beach is just it's a great area. It can be a really good area. But
And it's outside of Los Angeles.
It's out on the outskirts of Los Angeles. It's down right between Orange County and Los Angeles. And there's very high crime, gang, a lot of homelessness. Again, there is downtown Long Beach is beautiful, the beach, but there are some really heavy active areas.
A little bit of GTA vibes.
Yes, like absolutely. Ooh, the ghetto, you know.
A white fridge?
Yeah, it's definitely just a different world compared to Orange County at Hoag Hospital. So they transport me. I get there and I'm like, oh no, I made a mistake, because people are like hitting their heads on the wall. There's feces on the wall.
So we're talking like American Horror Story season 2.
Yes, it is absolutely that. And I'm like, just give me drugs. Because, you know, like I'm already, you know, I was like, just please. And they did. They absolutely did. They gave me any drugs. I mean, they gave me phenobarbital. They gave me Librium. They were just
I mean, what the hell is
loaded
what
up.
are
so
those
when you're in
EBMs?
housing, they'll give you like actual.
This is a 50.
No,
Opioids?
so this is we're in the 5150.
Still.
So we leave the hotel, we're in the 5150, and now you see all these kooks bang their
Hospitalized.
heads, and you're like, I want to get out of this mindset.
If I can't get out of here, give me drugs.
Right, like I want to blur. So
Yeah.
then what type of drugs are they giving you? Because I don't know your multiple syllable words.
So phenobarbital is a barbiturate. It's
Okay.
a very heavy duty. It's like a benzodiazepine, like a Xanax class, but even heavier.
Okay, so it's like a heavy, like it's going to knock you
It's
out
like
basically.
a Quaalude.
Okay, so
damn.
we're talking like Wolf of Wall Street,
Yeah.
crawling back.
But I already had
to
such
home.
a tolerance. They weren't doing anything to me. So I was like, I need that Librium. And so,
So you know too.
Yeah.
You're like,
Oh,
give
yeah.
me that top shelf vodka.
yeah, I was like, absolutely. And I remember the nurse is like, you're one of me, aren't you? Like, you're one of us. And I'm like, lady, don't start this right now. Like, just
Man,
let me get me my
you
You're
don't
one
know
of
what
us.
you're dealing
She was
with.
saying that you were like a nurse or something. You
no,
needed
like
drugs.
AA, like you know, like an addict or an alcoholic. She's like, I know you're one of us, and I'm like, just give me my meds,
Yeah.
please.
Well, because someone doesn't come in and is so specific about the medication that they're looking for,
Yeah,
unless
was
you've
just
like you've done
you
it
know,
before.
unless you're a nurse,
Right.
And
So you're in
but-
the depths of your depressive episode. You're in your 5150.
and I'm like trying to call places like programs to get into, because I'm like, get me the hell out of here. I'll just go back to rehab. I made a mistake. And then the nurse comes down and she's like, oh, I was like, when can I leave? And they're like, oh, you've got another 2 weeks. I go, 2 weeks? What are you talking about?
So you check yourself in 5150 and you're like, I'm here for a 3-day like long weekend.
Yeah.
And then she comes down, she's like, oh no, like this psych
Your
is saying,
orders, the psych
This
hadn't
is
even
a
seen me.
52.
so they're like, we're gonna keep you for another 14 days.
Yeah.
And you said, no, I'm here for MLK weekend.
Yeah. I was like, there's no way. I haven't even seen the doctor. The doctor hadn't even laid eyes on me. She goes, well, he tried to come see you, but you were sleeping. So because I was sleeping, that warrants a 2-week hold, a psychiatric hold. To me, that seems like she's good to go. She's sleeping. She's not in psycho. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
fucked up. And they go, well, you'll have the opportunity to like advocate for yourself. And I go, what do you mean? She goes, you have a hearing. I'm like, what are you talking about? I have a hearing. They take me in a room, a separate room. I'm on an iPad. There's a judge. There's like a regular person representing me, and I'll have the time to speak. And like, there's 2 other people like that are taking the circuit courts or whatever.
So is this your Katniss Everdeen moment? Like, this is your fight?
Moment. And I was like, get it together. Like, I'm talking straight. I'm not fucked up. And I was like, they were like, we're trying to appeal basically this 2-week hold. Do you have anything that you want to say for yourself, Miss Davidson? And I was like, yeah, I'm not crazy. I should know every crazy person probably says that, but like I have a raging addiction. Like I have a fentanyl problem. I have a Xanax problem. I am homeless and I'm trying to get into a facility, county, private, whatever, Medi-Cal, whatever you need. I know what day of the year it is. Like I went through like this whole spiel of like, I was sober for X amount of time, messed up, just lost my grandfather, all this thing. And they were like, let her go. So they let me go, but they didn't give me a program to get into, which was kind of like a little rough. But
so you get out of the hospital, 5150.
I stayed in that U-Haul.
Oh, you lived in a
Sweet.
U-Haul.
Yeah.
I never heard of that
How
before.
did you go to U-Haul?
Remember that U-Haul that I had? I left it at the hotel, so I just went right back.
So after you moved out of your boyfriend's house, you had a U-Haul, and then you basically went back to the hotel with the U-Haul, and you lived in the U-Haul?
I was living in the U-Haul for a while, yeah.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I never heard of that.
I mean, the thing is like I wasn't sleeping in the back. You know what I mean? Like I'm not going to like...
Oh.
Yeah, you weren't like shutting it.
Yeah, no, because all my stuff was back there.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, I've got to like figure out what I'm going to do next.
Gotcha.
So I'm like,
I thought you like posted like a queen mattress in the back.
no. Oh, no. Like
Put a
I
light
was
in
like
there.
sleeping like in Home Depot parking lot, like sitting up, like just to be safe, you know, because
Yeah.
crazy things can happen. And plus
Totally.
I'm using drugs at the time. And, you know, it gets to the point where I'm like selling all my stuff and
Out of the U-Haul.
U-Haul, yeah.
Wow.
Everything I own basically.
So how'd you turn that around?
Yeah. It's crazy, though, that you now talk to people that are dealing with deep, dark depression. It's like, I mean,
Yeah.
you've really gone through it. So you could, like, really resonate with people
Absolutely.
to the lowest of the lows.
Yeah. That's why it's always hard for me to drive around LA because I see the homeless, like, because I know what the people don't know where they need to go.
Yeah.
The number one problem with access to mental health care is people don't know where to go or where to start.
Totally.
So sometimes I just feel like getting out of the car and like walking up to them and be like, do you want help? And if you want help, this is a number you can call because I have all the answers.
Yeah, they don't even know.
They don't even know.
And it's funny because you're like such a stable person. You know, you're
Yeah.
working with us. Like we've been working together. You're extremely
reliable.
intelligent. You know, very emotionally intelligent. You know, can connect with anyone and everyone. And for you, it was just, you know, a few things hit you and then you were in your worst spot and then you become homeless.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like you're at the top of a hill and you easily take a little slip and before you know it, like you're so far deep.
Yeah, it can happen that fast.
Oh,
Really,
so
really
tough.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm curious though, how did you turn it around? So you're living in the U-Haul and then what happens?
So after the U-Haul stint, which I ended up, they reported it stolen.
You were in that U-Haul for a while,
You
huh?
were the one who stole it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, she was living in it.
I was
So
in
you
pain.
That was her
reported
home.
it stolen. That's wow. Okay.
Yeah, so the cops pulled me over and they were like, "This is stolen," and they like get my
damn.
driver's license and they were like they don't find anything on me. They're like, "We can't arrest you. It's like between you and U-Haul. Like, you're obviously in a tough spot. Like, we're not going to arrest you." Because the thing is like the hard part about me is I never get caught. Which I don't want to say never because I will probably if I start
No,
going
you
down
won't,
that
you
thing.
won't, you won't.
But I look to put together all the time. I'm intelligent. I speak. Cops aren't like, this lady isn't homeless. She's
Yeah.
just like, they thought I was trafficking people because they were like,
You're like, no, it's just a queen mattress.
yeah.
And it's fun. I think that the addict behavior, because I worked in substance abuse recovery, like people who deal with addiction, they're quick with it. They know how to hide shit. They know how to chat. Like they know how to keep ish rolling.
Yeah.
So like high functioning people that are dealing with addiction are usually some of the sharpest people that you'll ever come across.
Always. I say they're one of the hardest addicts, alcoholics, hardest working people I've ever met. Go-getters. Like once they get rid of that, and they're like, they'll do anything. Like, talk to a crackhead. They'll do anything and everything to get some crack.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to get something done, talk to a crackhead, because if they're out there every day scheming to be able to get crack,
Right.
and like people are like, I can't pay my rent, talk to a crackhead.
Yeah.
They'll
They'll find
find a
money
way.
for crack.
They'll find money for crack.
Yeah, and then you put him and you're like, okay, now we're going to put you in a business. Now sell this. They're going to sell it.
Exactly.
High functioners.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're going to get the bag.
They're going to figure it out.
It's just a different kind of bag.
Yeah, it's a matter of figuring it out.
Different. Absolutely. Yeah. So after thankfully the U-Haul situation, and it's funny that this is all kind of like coming to, which I've shared a little bit about this with you. I didn't go into in depth, but the reason that this is like a whole circular like cycle, from not a cycle, but like a whole
Full circle
moment is I ended up coming to LA County, and I had another seizure from all the meds that other place gave me. They sent home with all the meds, and I was like, they're idiots. You know what I mean? Like, why would they send me all this meds? I ended up at Culver City Hospital. Walked in there barefoot from a seizure off the street.
Culver City is like 10 minutes away from us.
Yeah, right where you guys pick, you know what I mean? Like where I go every day. And I went up in there, and I had sepsis of the blood, and I was out for like 7 days cold.
Wow.
Through my 26th birthday.
Wow. 26, imagine.
Yeah, I didn't even remember. Like, I woke up like days later, and I was like, where am I? They're like, you're on the heart and lung floor. Because I just collapsed. Like, after I had a seizure, like, I didn't even know what was going on. I had pneumonia from being out on the street in the cold.
Wow.
It was turning into sepsis. It was getting into my blood.
That was rock bottom.
And the thing is that I was at a hospital the day before, and they sent me out and said I probably had COVID. So the fact that I knew to go back to the hospital that something was wrong with me, and they took care of me and whatever, and they found a program for me to get into, and I didn't know about the programs in LA County at the time, and there's this one that's all women. It's a hardcore program. It's called the Teen Project, and I was thinking, like, the Teen Project, like, that sounds like it's for teens.
Yeah.
Nope. It's all women, like, between the ages of like 15 and 35, and got through it, did it. Best experience of my life. A lot of people coming out of prison, lost their kids, way worse situations than mine, and scared, because like I'm just like a little, girl from the Midwest, and it changed my life. It really did. It gave me an idea of, like, because I went to fancy rehabs before, before I had the time sober, and I had quite a few years sober.
Yeah, it seemed like this was rock bottom.
Yeah, like this was another rock bottom almost.
This is deep.
This was like a county funded facility. Like chefs aren't coming in, like, you guys are making your own food, like, so it was a total like, what is going on? I was on daddy's insurance, and now I'm on state funded insurance, but I needed that. I really felt like I needed that, and it got me here today.
Yeah, and you
Truly.
can speak from a place of like truth,
Yeah.
and that's why one of the things when we were talking about all this, and we started kind of first working together, when hearing that, it's like, I've gone through my own stuff, but not to that severity, and pain is relative, right? A pinch to someone is a punch to another, and vice versa. But it's like, for you to be able to understand that and like go through that, it's like you could speak to an experience that I just can't. We can't. You know what I mean? But again, it is all relative. So, have you gone through any depressive like episodes yourself?
Yeah, I've had a couple. I've had a couple bad ones. Yeah, I think we're talking about how like bad things come in threes, like when it rains it pours sort of thing. And when I first graduated college, I was in a really good spot. I had set a goal to graduate with no student debt and 25 grand in the bank. I was very disciplined, and I was investing in cryptocurrency at the time, and I had like quadrupled my goal by the time I graduated college.
Those Mormons are really instilling
They know how to
financial
save some
stability
shit,
there.
10% tidings.
Yeah.
I would just put it into my like portfolio and just invest in crypto. And this was like 2018. So I was like early into it, but needless to say, so I graduate college, I have all this money, and I go on like a bit of a bender with my friends. We go to Miami and Tulum, and we're just partying really hard. And at the time, I was also running my own marketing agency, and I fell into like this hedonic cycle of just continually seeking pleasure, like whether it was drugs, partying, sex, alcohol, etc. Just like bending really hard and just going from like music festival to club to house party, this and that, and just like falling deep down this cycle. And then about 6 months into this, I was feeling like very ill physically, and I was dating a girl at the time, and all of my stocks went down like 90%. So I was like, I had no money, essentially. Broke up with my girlfriend, and I didn't want to move back home. So I moved in with my sister here in LA. And at the same time, I started like having a lot of health problems. And I was alone. I was broke. I was afraid. I wasn't motivated to find or leverage my degree to find a job. I didn't know what I was doing with my life.
Pink pedal bike.
Yeah, so I had sold my car while I was on my bender because I was like, I'm going to go buy a Tesla. I don't need this Prius anymore. And then my money had dropped, so I had no car. I didn't have money to even buy my Tesla back. I mean, my Prius back. And I was riding a pink pedal bike in the streets of Los Angeles with no friends, no money.
Talk about humility.
Yeah. Just like at my rock bottom.
Schmite.
And I think what you mentioned, Kyla, you were like, yes, I needed that, you know, and I kind of needed this rock bottom because I refer to it as like a vacuum of intimacy. I had no connection in my life. It was just me, myself, and I had to like face the fact that I had like sabotaged myself.
Yeah.
And I just still like put myself out there and showed up and was able to land a client at the time. I was working on an AI real estate project. It was very like soul sucking, and I was very like bored to the point where I was like suicidal. I was like, okay, now I at least solved my money problem, but I still haven't solved the problem of like finding purpose within myself and my life. And that's when I met Elijah, actually. This would have been like 2.5 years ago. And I had developed the skill set of, you know, being able to market things, but I was marketing things that were just kind of feeding into this cycle of getting more money and helping business coaches and real estate, etc. And it just gave me no meaning and purpose in my life.
Yeah.
So I met Elijah. He was working at the ketamine clinic, and as this being like a new industry, there was a lot of opportunity to help solve some problems regarding like operations and marketing. And Elijah had gotten a lot of energy and attention on social media, but he was trying to figure out how to capture it and actually direct it towards the clinic, which was what I was doing for other small businesses. And so we essentially like hybridized our skill sets. He did the content and the creative, and I did the marketing and the funnel development, CRM stuff, and we started Cycle. But yeah, I think sometimes you need to hit rock bottom to really ask the big questions and move on to the next thing, you know.
Think about if you hadn't made the move to Los Angeles, you would have never met Elijah.
Yeah.
You would have never, you know, maybe you would have never even launched into your career if like that didn't happen with like crypto and like you were just all at once. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it all happens for a reason.
It really truly does, and that it sucks. Sometimes you have to go through like the bottom.
Gotta go through it.
But I mean, just
gotta go through the shit.
Look at what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And we all came together.
Yeah.
And I remember you were like in a really depressive episode and you're like, I'm so depressed, dude. And I was like, you don't give depression, you know?
It's giving not depression.
Yeah, it's giving just like sad boy summer. You know what I mean? And there's a difference in between someone that's like chronically sad and like we've worked with some of those people before. And it was like you were trying to help yourself. Like I was like, all right, buddy, we're getting our asses up and we're going to the gym. And you were at my door at 5 a.m. consistently.
I love that.
Yeah, that's how it started.
Yeah.
You know, like we obviously met at the ketamine clinic, but then we're just like, the cycle wasn't a thing for a solid 6 months, and we were just like holding each other accountable and like working
he had
out.
all his like, I remember the first time that I met him, he pulled out this sweatshirt and it had like all of the anatomy of like the psychedelics on it, like the chemical structures.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, like you love this stuff. He made it when he was 16. I was like, this is what you're passionate about. You're not passionate about real estate. Like, this is it. Like, what are you doing? You know?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I don't really know. You know, and he had all supplements all over his table. And I was like, you're like a health and wellness like husband. You know what I mean? Like, that's your vibe. It's not like real estate. And I think a lot of people when you go through these depressive episodes or when you go through these harder times, I feel like it's life creating a story for you. And then there gets to be a certain point where you're like, how do I utilize this story to then launch me into my next thing? You know?
100%. Yeah. And I think it's kind of like what we were talking about, where I think in the mid-20s, like a lot of people have this existential crisis where they're like, what's my purpose? What's my meaning in life? They'll either turn to like religion or to drugs or to, you know, the purpose of a new business. And I'm really glad I chose the latter because it was close to like falling into a rabbit hole of obsession, whether it's like with that, you know, partying, etc., or like trying to just grasp for meaning. And I think I found it in this business, and I'm really grateful for that.
Absolutely, brother.
Yeah. What about you, man? What sort of depressive episodes, if any, have you endured?
Yeah. I feel like I'm not a super depressed person. I'm more like high anxiety, but I did go through a situation where after college, I moved to China, being on the East Coast and then moving to the West Coast for college. I learned a lot about myself and I grew a lot. So as graduation was approaching, I was in the height of my promoter phase. I was like really not happy, and I was like, how can I almost like recreate this energy of throwing myself into a really big deep end, especially in the 20s where I know that I'm going to have to expand. And I studied abroad in China, so I ended up, you know, packing my bags and moving to China. I had a job here, and they were like, we would like for you to stay on, but you need to stay in Los Angeles. And I was like, listen, the only way that I'm going to be able to stay is if I'm going to be able to move to China. And they looked at me like I had 7 heads. And then after some discussion, they allowed me to go. So I ended up taking this US job over to China, and I was in China. I was there for about like 9 months, 10 months until COVID hit.
No way. You were there.
In the depths of China.
Did you see the bat that COVID came from?
I saw the bat. I made eye contact with him. We threw fist for a little bit, and then he bit the Chinese guy behind me.
Wuhan.
Wuhan. No, Wuhan. I wasn't hanging with the Wuhans. No, God. Wuhan was like very far away from Shanghai.
It was like a little, out of nowhere. Like it was literally like a little small.
Yeah, Wuhan. No, Wuhan's like it's like relatively big. It's like kind of like Chicago, I would say. Like it's like pretty big.
But it's out in the middle.
It's out in the middle of China.
Yeah.
And I had an editor at that time that I was working with, and it was like he was actually from Wuhan. So he was like headed back towards like contaminated lands.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, it's like this zombie
Shanghai
apocalypse.
is like by the coast.
Yeah.
And then Wuhan's like right in the middle.
Oh,
wow.
China is so massive. I always
So
forget
big.
about
So
it.
you were in the trenches, like literally at ground zero.
I was out there at
you
ground
were
zero.
At ground one. Ground
yeah,
zero was
ground zero was Wuhan. Ground one was Shanghai.
For sure.
And I was thinking that this was just going to pass. And then I was like getting these notifications and people like messaging me back on the East Coast being like, yo, like this is happening. And I'm one to not give a time or energy into something until it's like really big. Like if my ankle's hurting, I'm like, I'm fine until like I've like broken my ankle. So it was similar mindset. Like it's fine. Everything's gonna be fine. We're going to like, you know, work through this. And I was working on a project for myself at the time. So I was very focused on that. Long story short, obviously COVID fucking comes in and wipes everybody out.
The borders are closed.
The borders are closing. And I like go to the airport to get my flight back to the US, and I'm supposed to fly through Beijing. And they're like, the flights are being canceled right now. Your flight from Shanghai to Beijing is canceled. And I was like freaking out. So there's 2 different airports. So I ended up running to the other airport, as in like just getting my ass over there. I packed everything up, literally like leaving half of my shit there, but I was just like, I need to get out of this fucking country. So I like get to the Beijing airport and I finally make it back to the US. Now I'm like 2 bags pulling up to LAX, and any of my friends, my family's on the East Coast, I came back to LA. All of the people that I loved and cared about were like, we think that you have COVID. We're not going to come near you.
That makes sense.
Sorry, you just came from China. No, sorry.
Yeah.
You
We
are
don't care how much we love you, but
Right. We don't love you that much. You know what I mean?
go to the hospital.
Right. Go figure your shit out.
The zone was
Oh
like
my
6 feet. They're like
God.
more like 6
So
miles.
I was fresh off the boat, literally from COVID. And I was like, what do I do? So then I go, luckily, one of my really good friends like picked me up, and she was like, we're going to talk about this story when we're older. And she like grabbed me. So shout out to her. And I was
What's
there.
her name? Gotta give her a shout out.
Juliet. Shout out to Juliet.
Thank God.
Yeah, shout out to Juliet.
Check yes, Juliet.
Check yes, Juliet is right. And I was there 2 suitcases. home from China. I go back to the job, and like within like a few weeks, they're like, we're laying off a bunch of people.
Oh no.
And then I was like, I have 2 suitcases. I don't have a place to live. My whole life was in China right now, and that is completely gone. Where do I go and what do I do? What do I want to do? You know?
Yeah.
And it was a depressive episode, but it was more on like a self-actualizing story.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was more. But then of course it like manifested itself with like, I just want to fucking stay in bed and just like eat Ben and Jerry's all day, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it took a while, but I ended up like taking that time throughout 2020 and putting my head down, and I started reading, and I was like, we're bunkering down. I need to figure out what I really want to do. And I was working at the rehab center at that point. I ended up losing the job with the rehab center. We ended up parting ways. And I was like, what do I want to do with the rest of my life? And if there's any time, it would be now to kind of figure it out. So then I went into a deep hole of just reading and trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And I think in the 20s, it's extremely difficult to figure that out. You go through some type of life journey similar to the ones that y'all explained. And mine led me to doing research at UCLA. I was reading a book about fMRIs and emotions and how they represent in the brain. I'm still coming off of rehab and just very fascinated on how people deal with addiction and why do some people deal with addiction, but like I didn't deal with it, but my father and grandfather did. So I was like, how can we make this healing process easier? That was one of the things that I came across during my like self-actualizing story. And then I ended up coming across ketamine. I found a clinic. I walked into the clinic, and from there it all kind of started rolling. So shout out to Momentum.
Jeez.
But yeah, just 2 suitcases in LAX, fresh off of the bid. It was a tough little time.
How long did that take you to make the transition to like picking up the momentum?
I was down bad for 6 months.
Yeah, me too. It's usually about like 3 to 6 months. I
Down
feel like
bad
of just
for 6
like
months.
rock bottom.
COVID was a fucking hard time.
But it's always like a matter of months before you turn around.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
like you can have your down.
And it's not glamorous either. Like in the beginning, I was working as a security guard. Like I was pub mall copping it out there.
I remember
you know?
when we initially met, and then we would just go to the security and just we call it the clubhouse.
The clubhouse.
Yeah, and then we would just do
We'd just
research
sit there.
together. We took a class at Stanford on psychedelics.
Yeah, I was
and
taking UCLA courses. I
on,
was like
like,
doing my due
pharmaceuticals.
diligence.
Yeah.
And we just sat there, and I think that anyone in their 20s, if you're ever struggling, like get a job that literally they'll pay you to do nothing and then figure out what you want to do.
Yeah, and just read or study something, even if it's like
Internships, anything like that.
Work for free, essentially. Learn, be a sponge.
But I feel like all of our depressive episodes are really different, all very relative too. Like I always had a roof over my head, thank God. I always had clothes, whether it was 1.5 suitcases or not. There was always clothes on my back. There's always food on the table.
Yeah.
And for all of that, like I'm so incredibly grateful.
Yeah.
I can't imagine going through what you went through.
Homelessness
like
is...
being in a fucking U-Haul. And
I
just
can't imagine coming home from China.
Yeah.
Like, that's
all relative,
I'm like,
huh?
okay with the homelessness. Leaving China, the COVID, like
U-Haul?
that's
light work for a girl like me.
that's no big deal. Like I'll figure it out. But like leaving a whole foreign country in like the midst of a pandemic, I'd be like, nope, take me out. Like, absolutely not. I couldn't deal with the anxiety of it, I don't think. I'd rather be like in a homeless
Yeah, it was
U-Haul.
tough, and everything was shutting down.
Oh, God.
And they were just closing things. It felt like almost like a wormhole was getting closer and I was like, just get me
Squeezing
fucking through it.
Yeah, there are some parallels between all of our stories, though. Like, they happened in like the mid-20s.
Yep.
Right? And they had to do with like some form of identity being at stake, right? Having to like reformulate our identities and like figure out what our contribution to society would be. COVID. Yeah, I was during COVID. There's a lot of parallels for sure. And I think like a lot of people can probably relate to that, you know, especially in their 20s. Like, you're not alone if that's something you're dealing with, you know, just.
Yeah.
It does get better. I know it's so cliche and cheesy to say. Like, God, there were some times I'm like, I remember crying on like in the shower at a rehab and like just like begging whatever. I was like, please don't let me use fentanyl again. Like, please, like just in tears, like having a spiritual moment and thinking like, I am never going to beat this, you know, like I am never going to get through this. And some days I wake up and I'm like, am I alive right now? You know, like, is this really happening? Like, do I have a full-time, like, am I working? Am I a productive member of society? Like, I still have to pay my taxes. But, you know, like, just those little things give me, like, it's weird to be, like, a productive member. And I'm like, it gives me, like, fulfillment and happiness, even if I've got like these little things that bother me, I'm like, it's not as bad as the U-Haul, you know?
Yeah, it could always be worse.
Yeah.
And that's the company that I think we all really want to build, is like, when you are at the depths of the depths, like, who can you call? Like Ghostbusters, you know, but like cycle, like, let's help you break that cycle.
Yeah.
That's like the dream of all dreams, and be like, 1-800-GO-CYCLE. Like, let's break this cycle. And it's not difficult. I mean, it's not easy. It's extremely difficult, but it's like, you need some support out there. And I don't think that there are many companies right now that I know of that are like going to help you through that process.
Yeah.
Find you the right resources.
There's a lot of county funded stuff, but again, they've got limited on what they can do. And it's only like a certain amount of budget. But to have like a company that is not, we don't care what type of insurance you have, like, we will find the help for you, and we can, you know, utilize that energy, and finding that help is huge. There are some, like I said, there are some days I just want to go downtown and be like, does anybody actually want help? And if you do, like, what can I do to help you? Because I talk to people every day. Every day I talk to people, and they're like, I just don't know where to go. And I'm like, call this place. And then if you need a ride, you can get a ride to this place through your Medicare. You know what I mean? Like, and they're just like, I talked to a lady yesterday, and she was like so grateful. She was like, wait, I can get a ride through Medicare? And I was like, yeah, if you need a ride to the dentist or your open heart surgery you're about to have, this is the number for Minnesota's Medicare line.
Wow.
And just gave her the number, and she wasn't going to be cleared for treatment because she had a heart surgery. And I was like, you need to get a release from your cardiologist. She goes, I can do that next week. And I said, okay, do that next week and give me a call back.
Yeah.
And gave her our number, you know, like
great.
everything. But
to be able to navigate, that's it.
yeah,
You know?
just navigate for them, because she's like, I don't even know how to use Facebook. I clicked on something and now I'm talking to you.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's no
wow.
user manual for healing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We want to be able to kind of make that. So if you are going through a depressive episode, or it's something that you need help with your own mental health, feel free to reach out, cyclehealth.com, or give us a call. Kyla will most likely pick up the phone with your stunning glasses, or our other care coordinators. And we're here to help.